told me before that she was at a party before that they attended, and you said the party was weird. Tell me about that.
I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with big old booty and shit. Nobody was gay, and I'm like, what the f is going on here? It's just a lot of weird dude. Yeah.
Cassie wasn't the only one who wanted, or she didn't want it, but Cassie who searched for the big black, and she was searching for the big black, not only for herself, but for somebody else who we all know that was in the room with her.
Girl, hold on to your wig because Jaguar Wright just spilled the hottest tea about Diddy and Will Smith getting down and dirty in some ongoing freak-offs. I swear, just when we think we've hit peak mess with Diddy, the drama escalates to a whole new level. According to Jaguar, this ain't just a casual thing. Diddy and Will have allegedly been in the freak-off game for years, and guess what? There are videos documenting the whole shebang. Jaguar did not come to play because she came armed with receipts, exposing not only Will's alleged relationship with Diddy, but also the explicit details of their freaky escapades. Hold on tight, cause this drama is on another level.
Yeah.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship.
Okay, so y'all better hop on this drama real quick, cause this Diddy drama is taking an unexpected turn that's about to blow your minds. If you thought things couldn't get any crazier, buckle up, because I've got some seriously juicy updates that are about to turn this whole situation from 0 to 100. So, the Diddy chaos was already a mess on its own, but now it's hitting overdrive because guess who's been dragged into the mix? Will Smith, that's who. And you won't believe how Jaguar Wright spilled the beans and let the cat out of the bag, revealing that Diddy and Will Smith were apparently getting down and dirty in some wild shenanigans. I don't know about you, but discovering that Diddy and Will Smith had some kind of secret shenanigans wasn't exactly on my 2023 bingo card. Just when we thought the whole celebrity breakup and divorce scene was as messy as it could get. Now, the whispers about Diddy and Will being more than just friends have been floating around for ages. I guess it sort of adds up considering they're both influential guys in the industry, and there have been those hush-hush rumors lingering for years. For a very long time, people had mixed feelings about Will being on the DL because he was in a happy marriage with Jada, and they were considered to be one of the best couples in Hollywood. Or so we thought. They have been together for about 25 years now, and we thought that made them a great couple. But then the great entanglement drama happened, and we realized just how messed up their marriage was.
Basically, we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement.
The entanglement situation really hit their public image hard, and that's when people started to realize just how messed up the marriage was. It was at that point that the rumors of Will being on the DL started to get stronger and stronger, and it got to a point where it became glaringly obvious that things were not what they seemed. Alexis Arquette jumped on the train and revealed that Will's first marriage to Sherry Zampino ended because Sherry caught him in bed with a man. Alexis wrote, "When Jada comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked into him, servicing his sugar daddy Benny Medina, then I will listen to them, she being his first wife. Paid off, silent." Moving on, Alexis wasn't the only person who came out because in a rant against Jada, Trisha Paytas called Will out for allegedly forcing her male dancers to sleep with him.
Jada Pinkett, we're really gonna listen. How about worry about your daughter being naked in bed at 13 with her 20-year-old boyfriend on the internet? How about worry about that? How about worry about your fucking cheating husband my male dancers, when they didn't want to? How about talk about that?
But that's not all, because Jaguar Wright also came out to spill the tea on how Will has affairs with multiple younger men in the industry. She claimed that he pretends to mentor the men, but then he allegedly forces them into a relationship that leaves them traumatized.
Yeah.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bashir Gray. Left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick, he needed the help.
Whoa, talk about chaos. But doesn't this whole thing about Will traumatizing men ring a bell about someone else making headlines recently for getting physical with his girlfriend? Yep, I'm referring to Diddy. And before anyone starts talking about how Jaguar could be making things up, let me remind you that everything she has said about Diddy and many other celebs has turned out to be true. Sure, a lot of people thought she was just making things up for attention, but I think that we're way past doubting Jaguar now. And despite all his threats to sue her, Diddy backed off real quick because he knew it'd only make him look worse. Okay, so let's talk about this Diddy and Will Smith situation because, Chili, there's a lot going on here. Is it just me, or does it seem like more than a coincidence that both Diddy and Will were allegedly up to some questionable things with younger boys around the same time? It kinda adds a whole new layer of sketchiness to the situation, and it has people giving them the side eye. So Diddy has been accused of doing some pretty shady stuff with young guys in the industry, which kinda adds up with what Jaguar claimed about Will Smith. And get this, Diddy's shenanigans were serious enough to have the feds sniffing around his business. Back in 2013, there were reports that Diddy was being investigated by federal agencies for sleeping with young boys. According to reports, during a debriefing session with federal investigators, James Rosemond, the music manager turned cocaine kingpin, was reportedly questioned about the sexual preferences of entertainers, including whether Sean Diddy Combs was having intimate relationships with underage boys, according to a U.S. District Court filing. A prosecutor then asked about entertainers' intimate preferences, including, but not only, Sean Combs having intimate relationships with underage boys. For those who don't know who Jimmy Henchman is, he was once a big shot in the music industry, and he is now smack in the middle of a federal sentence. I'm talking about a very long list of charges, including murder for hire, money laundering, drug trafficking, and so much more. Now, the investigators weren't your local cops. We're talking about the big guns, the federal investigators. When the feds come knocking, it's no joke, and they mean business. And when they started grilling Jimmy about Diddy and his potential involvement with minors, you know, things were about to get wild. And y'all know what they say, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and this situation, it's starting to look like a blazing inferno. Nothing ever came out of the investigation, but then people still believed that Diddy had something with young boys. I mean, even his bodyguard Gene said the same thing.
All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and try to engage other men into sexual acts with him. There was story that he was trying to get Chris Brown. There's stories about, you know, those young boys that he had, a group B5 or something like that, trying to get them. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry about not just him.
Then Orlando Brown also claimed that Diddy gave him some mouth action, if you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshka smash. You gave me the ooshka smuaf, the smooth smash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gave me the ooshka smuash. I love it, yo. I love it. You gave me the ooshka smuash.
But as it turns out, Orlando isn't the only youngster in the young Hollywood scene who might have had a shady encounter with Diddy. Rumor has it that Justin Bieber might have gone through something similar. Justin got into the industry pretty early, making him extra susceptible at the time. The whispers about Diddy and Justin's situation started about 14 years back during their 48 hours with Diddy thingy. 2 days hanging out might not sound like a big deal, but considering Diddy's alleged track record with younger guys, it definitely raised a few eyebrows. Yet, that wasn't even the most concerning part. See, in this video, Diddy said some things that had people questioning if there was more to it than met the eye. One of the first things he said was to make a promise to gift Justin a Ferrari for his 16th birthday. Now, when someone's throwing around promises of luxury rides to a teenager, you can't help but wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come in LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come in LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot of this.
And before we get past that, he jumped right into promising to give Justin a mansion for his 18th birthday.
And then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
But wait, because it's about to get even wilder.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. we can't really disclose.
But as it turns out, Justin was not the first, because Diddy allegedly pulled a similar move with Usher, who, mind you, was just 13 when he lived with Diddy. Now, one question that everyone had is what Usher's parents were thinking when they allowed him to move to Diddy's house and live with him. No shade on his parents, but let's call a spade a spade. That decision raised some serious eyebrows. I mean, everyone knew about Diddy's party lifestyle, which wasn't exactly an ideal environment for a 13-year-old. I'm not trying to be judgy, but in hindsight, it's pretty clear that this living arrangement was a recipe for disaster.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop. What? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And what kind, do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like, you know,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old.
The party scene was a whole mess, but it takes a darker turn because, as it turns out, Usher is still carrying some trauma over it more than 25 years later. I mean, think about the kind of trauma it must be for him to still struggle with it after all this time. He tries as much as he can to avoid the topic of what it was like living with Diddy, and that should have been the ultimate flashing red flash that something seriously messed up went down at Camp Puffy, or as they called it, Puffy Flavored Camp. Remember that interview he had with Howard Stern? The things he said were like immediate red flags. It's one thing for a celeb to keep a tight lid on certain aspects of their life, but when someone like Usher, who's usually pretty open, clams up about a certain period, you know there's some heavy stuff lurking beneath the surface.
Like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, you know, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily.
Just so y'all know how bad it was, Usher vowed that he would never let his own kids do the same thing.
Now, would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
He then claimed that Diddy forced him to hide what he was going through from his parents.
Mary J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this shit. Oh. I was having a good time.
Given Diddy and Will's alleged track record of getting involved in questionable situations with young guys, it's not too far-fetched to entertain the idea that they might have had some behind-the-scenes hanky-panky together. I mean, if there's someone who's been swamped with down-low rumors and accusations more than Will Smith, it's Diddy. Seriously, the list of whispers is longer than I can even remember. We can't even scratch the surface of all the claims that have surfaced over the past few years, and not just from the regular gossip mill, but from folks in the industry too. Take Wendy Williams, for instance. She spilled the tea on Diddy playing both sides and using his long list of girlfriends and baby mamas as a smokescreen for his real deal. Now, Wendy didn't come with hard evidence of Diddy's sexuality. She was just repeating some juicy she heard, but it made Diddy furious. He went all out, trying to get Wendy fired and kill her career over that.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
And that's not all, because his former bodyguard, Gene, also spilled the tea on Diddy's escapades with men.
My Jennifer was upstairs, and he said, yo, Gene, watch the door, don't let nobody come through here. And I said I watched the door. If I watched the door and him and a man ran out naked, and I said that, ain't nobody told me that. I saw that myself.
Rapper Exhibit also revealed that Diddy once took him to a gay bar, and he was so shook that he snuck out of the bar and ran home.
For his business, we go down and get a drink. You know, we sitting there bopping to the music, and then she point over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. Then there's girls in the club too, and then she point another direction. It's another dude over there like butt ass naked.
Oh, and let's not even get started on 50 Cent and how he has been keeping his foot anon Diddy's neck, steadily exposing Diddy over the years. There was a time he shaded Diddy on IG and said, "Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under the leadership of Putty Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow." There's also the time he went on The Breakfast Club and said that Diddy was fruity.
When he do it, he says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
50 Cent also claimed that Diddy once tried to take him shopping and that he found it to be really weird.
So yo, when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out. We gotta kick it. This is possible. Okay. You're telling me we gotta kick it, and he's like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, this just say.
The Game also threw shade at Diddy when he spoke about how he personally knows a particular DL rapper who tries to hide his sexuality by being a womanizer or having multiple kids with different baby mamas.
So you think that you've worked with a gay rapper?
Yeah, man. And gay, not being just full out gay, but hiding it, trying to pretend like he, loves girls and live the rap lifestyle, but really, he's a man fan.
So yeah, Diddy and Will are both on the DL, and get this, Gene has also spoken about how Diddy and Will both attended gay parties together.
For that she was at a party before that they attended, and you said the party was weird. Tell me about that.
I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with big old booty and shit. Nobody was gay no more. What the f is going on here? It's just a lot of weird dude.
It's not just a case of two DL guys navigating Hollywood separately. We're talking about two dudes who allegedly dabble in the down low scene together. Now this goes beyond mere speculation. There's a trail of them sneaking around and indulging in, well, let's just say unconventional activities. Adding fuel to the fire is Will Smith's rocky marriage with Jada. That union has been nothing short of messy, with whispers about separation buzzing around for years. There's also the fact that Jada revealed that they've been separated for years.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives. Yes. It was not a divorce on paper, right, but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now, yes, y'all have been apart.
Yeah. And the streets have been saying for a long time that Young Miami is basically Diddy's beard. So again, it's pretty clear that whatever Diddy and Will had been going on for a hot minute. But it got even worse when we found out that Diddy was not the only man that Will had allegedly been doing the nasty with, because according to Will's former assistant and longtime friend Bilal, Will also had a lil something something with actor Dwayne Martin. Bilal sat down with Tasha K and revealed how he had caught Will and Dwayne doing the deed in Dwayne's dressing room.
So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too. So I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. And I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder.
But as it turns out, whatever Will had cooking with Dwayne was child's play compared to the full-on freak fiesta he had going on with Diddy. Cassie spilled the beans in her lawsuit, and it seems like she wasn't just blowing smoke. Jaguar Wright spilled the tea, and let me tell you, she did not come to play. But before we get to Jaguar, let's take a minute to talk about how Diddy's bodyguard, Gene, exposed Diddy. According to Gene, Will and Diddy were going all out in these extensive freak sessions that lasted for days at a stretch. Now, Gene is known for spilling some tea on Diddy, but hey, I can't hate him for it because he usually comes with some juicy tea. In an interview, Gene went on to spill that Diddy wasn't just a bystander in the freak-offs with Cassie. He was an active participant in these freak-offs. Apparently, Diddy even handed Cassie an entire list of what he wanted in an escort, not for her own pleasure, but because he was on the hunt for someone to satisfy his own desires.
And she say that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her get smashed by BBCs. So, what you think about that?
Do you think she was the only one getting banged by him? Do you think this man had this woman search for prostitutes online just for them to have sex with her?
He also went on to say this.
Cassie wasn't the only one who wanted, or she didn't want it, but Cassie who searched for the big black, and she was searching for the big black, not only for herself, but for somebody else who we all know that was in the room with her. So if he want to see it, and he want her to touch it, that other person in the room with her just might want to feel it. Allegedly.
So you feel like Diddy was having sex with the male prostitute?
They had to be for both of them. They was in the room. Right?
You're right.
It's a freak-off section.
So let's talk about the freak-offs. Cause Chilla, Jaguar had a lot to spill on them. Cassie was the first to expose Diddy's freak-offs in her lawsuit, and boy, did it sound horrible. According to Cassie, the first time Diddy made her have a freak-off, he didn't even get her permission or anything like that. He just hired an escort and they did the nasty. According to the lawsuit, the first time, Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Mr. Combs, and Ms. Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Ms. Ventura to perform intimate acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He got off to it while he directed Ms. Ventura and the man to do specific intimate acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak-off, or FO. He would repeatedly tell Ms. Ventura at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Ms. Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male escorts. But that's not all, because Diddy also used to force her to use drugs before the freak-offs. She said, Mr. Combs always supplied Ms. Ventura and the escort with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Ms. Ventura was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Ms. Ventura was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO, and Mr. Combs insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to be intimate with her. Like that wasn't bad enough, he also used to record the freak-offs, just so that he had something to hold over her head. The court document said, during the FOs, in addition to directing Ms. Ventura and getting off, Mr. Combs would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Ms. Ventura being intimate with the hired escort. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took, while Ms. Ventura quickly deleted any photographs or video of intimate acts if they were taken on her phone. Mr. Combs repeatedly made clear that he retained many videos of Ms. Ventura during FOs. It went on to say that, even when she deleted the videos, Mr. Combs would tell Ms. Ventura that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and the immense power he held over her. During some FOs, Mr. Combs would become extremely intoxicated and would hit Ms. Ventura in front of the male escorts. Cassie also revealed that she was never allowed to say no to the freak-offs and that Diddy would demand one anytime he felt like it, and there was nothing she could do or say about it. The court document said, her anxiety before an FO would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of vomiting. While kneeling over the toilet, Mr. Combs would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. She knew firsthand that telling Mr. Combs that she did not want to engage in FOs was met with anger and violence. It continued. In addition, any suggestion that Ms. Ventura would refuse the FO or otherwise report Mr. Combs' abuse was met with ultimatums by Mr. Combs, who would say that Ms. Ventura could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. The FOs became work for Ms. Ventura, and despite her protestations, Mr. Combs insisted on these intricately staged and forced sexual encounters between Ms. Ventura and various male escorts. That was just nasty, but the situation got worse than we could ever imagine because 50 Cent revealed that not only was Diddy recording the freak-offs and forcing Cassie to watch them, but he also sent the video around to a lot of people. A couple of weeks ago, an old video went viral of 50 Cent talking about how there was a bad video going around Hollywood that showed Cassie with other men in a very inappropriate situation.
I know, check this out, on the up and up, the nigga Puff, like he called, we should kick it on the telephone and shit, after the made shit.
Right.
And the nigga be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures of this girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow.
Oh, you kidding me up?
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Phil.
So according to 50 Cent, the videos were taken during the freak-offs that Diddy forced Cassie to do, but it gets worse. 50 Cent claimed that he called Diddy to let him know what was going on, but Diddy wasn't exactly bothered by it. 50 also claimed that from Diddy's response, he could tell that Diddy was the one who had been sending the videos around.
I really kind of felt like those photographs was not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a girl moves from a man and she upgrades, niggas be insecure, you know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like
This is just all shades of messed up. But as it turned out, that wasn't the last time that Diddy had done something like that. You see, after Cassie's lawsuit, a woman named Joey Dickerson Neal came out to claim that Diddy drugged her, S.A.'d her, and recorded it without her knowledge when she was a college student in 1991. According to reports, the complaint alleges Combs intentionally drugged Dickerson Neal, leaving her unable to stand or walk. The suit said she left her drink unattended with him at the restaurant, and afterward, under alleged pressure from Combs, she took a hit from a blunt. They then drove to a music studio, the suit stated. When Dickerson Neal couldn't exit the car, Combs allegedly took her to a place he was staying to S.E.'d her, according to the filing. Even worse, she revealed in the lawsuit that Diddy had made a video of him S.A.ing her and he shared it around. Reports had it that days later, a male friend named Devontae Swing, a member of the popular 90s R&B group Jodeci, revealed to Joey that he viewed an adult tape along with other people, according to the suit. Joey said Swing feared his band would lose its record deal if he spoke against Combs. But that's still not all, because there's still a lot to unpack here, and it gets wilder. Diddy allegedly has a thing for recording his intimate encounters, and not just for personal keepsakes. Jaguar spilled the tea that it's a full-blown fetish of Diddy's, and he doesn't discriminate, even when it comes to those rendezvous with Will Smith. So according to Jaguar, Will and Diddy have apparently been deep into these intimate sessions for quite a while. And it's not just them alone, because they've allegedly brought in male escorts, engaged in three-way escapades, and all that stuff. You catch my drift. Now, they're not exactly screaming this out loud, because let's face it, it wouldn't be great for their public image. Jaguar even claimed that they allegedly take turns hiring these escorts, slap them with NDAs, and pay them a lot of money to keep their lips sealed. Now, for the cherry on top. Remember how Diddy allegedly records these sessions? Well, Jaguar claims that Will is in on the action too. He either records these encounters himself or gets copies from Diddy. And here's the shocker. He sometimes shares these videos with his other partners like Dwayne Martin. Speaking of Dwayne, remember when he was in some legal trouble with a lawsuit and he flat out refused to hand over his laptop to the police? Turns out he was sitting on some seriously sensitive material that could have exposed some major players in the industry. He said, the laptop also contained personal photo, which were confidential, privileged, and unrelated to any legitimate interest of the court, including confidential communications with other public figures regarding private, non-financial matters. Well, according to Jaguar, the personal photos and videos were allegedly from Diddy and Will's freak-offs, and Dwayne was using this as leverage over Will. I mean, don't you find it interesting that Will ended up loaning Dwayne $1.4 million to save his house from foreclosure, but Dwayne never paid the loan, and the loan happened around the time of the lawsuit, so it's kind of giving blackmail. As you can expect, fans had a lot to say about this, and they left comments saying, "No way is Will Smith innocent, no way. These rumors have been whispers for some time, just as Diddy's have been. He isn't innocent, and maybe that's why he won't divorce Jada. She knows too much." They are pansexuals in Hollywood. None of this is surprising. It's been going on for years. Very famous people taught Diddy and Will the game. We are just in the age of information where everything is available now. Respect Diddy and Will's talent, but as people, it's part of the Hollyweird circle and rituals for them. The truth is stranger than fiction, and now we know why Will was okay with the entanglement. Chile, this is one hot stanky mess, but y'all let me know what you think about this situation. Do you believe Jaguar's story about the freak-offs, or do you think that she's maybe stretching things a little bit? Drop your thoughts in the comments, then check out this next video.